Indonesia with a very special episode with my friend Caudullo. Alright guys, I'm here today in Bali, Indonesia with a very special episode with my friend Caudullo. He's a 38-year media veteran with a very, very exciting history.
No, I'm only 38 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's 38 years old. I got it wrong.
This is radio, I can say anything.
Make it official. I think we're officially in Asia. We actually are drinking some bintang, so we do get more jovial through this podcast. That's why.
But wait, there's more. If you order now, we'll also receive at no additional cost the amazing Ginsu knives.
Ow. Now, he has consulted for some amazing companies like Panasonic, LG, Hitachi, Samsung. Let's just show the highlights. Works with Facebook, YouTube's, Google's, Adobe, and all heaps of crazy stuff.
And those that shall remain nameless.
Those shall remain nameless, yes.
Due to NDAs.
NDAs, the fun stuff. But let's start on the top. How does this all begin? Where did the journey start for you?
Well, wow. 38 years. I mean, I've done everything from film, got into digital very early on. I do a lot of beta testing for both hardware and software. I've been doing VR for about 8 years now, and I did a lot of very early work with that. I did a lot of beta testing for GoPro with some of the early VR cameras. I'm shooting with some amazing cameras right now. The Views XR, which is made by an Israeli company called Humanize Technology, and this is this is when I wish it was video, because the camera is so cool because it does 360 video in 2D, and with the press of a button, the lenses flip out and it does VR 180 in 3D. So it's a super cool camera that does really, really high resolution and looks fantastic. And, it's so much fun. So much fun.
That's insane. How did you get into that space? What gave you the credentials to be able to work with companies?
Being insane does help.
Okay.
Medically
certified
crazy.
Or?
Nah, we
Not
need
yet.
certification, I only drive the doctors crazy. You just kind of, I don't know, I've just always been the kind of person that likes to be on the bleeding edge. I believe that you're either leading the pack or you're falling somewhere far behind. So I always look for technology that's coming along. I've been doing 3D stereoscopic for about 25 years. I started out as a hobby.
Let's break this down. Where did you start in your career? Was it working for someone? Did you create your own videos?
No, actually, after getting my degree in college, I moved to, got a chance to work in Las Vegas.
Your degree in?
Electronic design.
Okay.
And wound up going to work for these guys that needed an engineer for their video walls. And video walls at the time were monitors that stacked up on top of each other that would make either one big picture or a bunch of small pictures. And I stayed with that technology for a while, and I was doing a lot of trade shows. And I've been doing production for myself.
Okay.
And then I started seeing the stuff they were putting up on my video walls, and I said, I can do better than that. And I got my first break for Casio, and they let me do their presentation for a Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas.
So this is because you met them via network?
They were a client for 25 years, so somewhere along the way, they definitely trusted me. They used me for multiple shows every year. And they gave me the first
How did they become a client,
to do
though?
Professional production.
You met them at other trade shows and became friends with somebody?
I started doing the video walls. And then from there...
You started doing the videos for the video walls?
Right, exactly. And at one point, I did stuff for Nike, I did stuff for Hewlett-Packard, I did stuff for Microsoft, I did stuff for Apple, I did stuff for...
How did they come across, though? So you said you did stuff for them.
It's all word of... for me, it was always been word of mouth. Plus, I was involved in the design and installation of at the time, it was the largest video wall in the world behind the front desk of the MGM brand. And I also took care of it for the first 3 years. until MGM finally realized just how much they were paying me every year, and they decided they'd be better off hiring somebody in-house. And the video wall went to shit after that. But yeah. Anyway, but it was great because being in Las Vegas, the tremendous amount of trade shows that happen there, and then from there, word of mouth, I'd wind up traveling all over the country, doing trade shows and special events. I did the Academy Awards in 2000 and 2001. I've done the Grammys.
In order to get those kind of gigs, who are you working with? Like
my company.
No, you're working with your company, but in terms of the people, your contacts at each of those companies, were they managers of some sort, or?
Well, the guys who put together these trade show events work for the big companies, and what happens is they stay there. You get involved with one of them, and then all of a sudden you get passed over to their friend. They leave and go to another company. They bring you over. You start building your network, and it becomes very organic. It's not like you have to. I never did any advertising. I didn't have to.
I think even though you didn't do advertising, you were building the network.
Well, when you have a video wall up, and for instance, I did. Remember when the first Men in Black came out? I did that double-sided video wall for them for the NAPTI show, which was the North American Television Production Executives or something like that, and it was a big deal. And from there, you get invited to do other things, and then I worked on the Millennium Celebration for President and Mrs. Clinton in Washington D.C. And like I said, I did the Academy Awards, I did the Emmys, the Oscars, the Grammys, Univision Awards. I did so many award shows it wasn't even funny.
Okay.
And then I started doing things like golf tournaments. At Pebble Beach in 2000, when Tiger Woods wiped Ernie Els' butt by unbelievable amount of strokes, my LED wall that I had out on the green was called Tiger Vision. And I handled all of the publicity booths, so I basically worked with Tiger when he came in to do the interviews in the press rooms.
That's cool.
So, you just start expanding and doing other things. And then 9/11 brought about a complete change in my life and realignment, and I decided it was time to do something else. So you were
heavily involved in corporate until then?
Yeah, a lot of corporate stuff and a lot of things in that area. And I had a friend who was working at Pioneer Electronics, and he hated being in the U.S. around Christmas time. He felt it was too commercial. And so he was organizing a trip to Thailand, and I said, Josh, take me with you. Yes, his name was Josh, too.
Of course. They're good people, these Joshes.
Yes, they are. And so he brought me to Thailand, and I fell in love with the place, and within a year I moved there. And I haven't looked back. I've got a beautiful Thai wife and 3 fantastic kids, 13, 14, and 15, and just loving life. And now got into VR, and I'm working with a Korean-based company called 360 Today, plus I'm still doing my own freelance work as
Step back, because I think that's a really important moment that you just mentioned, that big events happen in our lives that cause us to reassess.
Yes.
What were the major things that shifted for you and you had to change?
Well, I was doing a lot, the LED walls. I had gotten into LED walls after video walls, and went to China and bought a bunch of equipment, signed a loan agreement for more than my father made in his whole life. And 9/11 saw that come crashing down along with the Twin Towers, and lost everything, and so was completely rebuilding my life. And Thailand seemed like a good as place as any, and I came to Thailand and started the first thing I started doing is I brought my HD cameras, and this was basically at the point where in Thailand they were still doing SD resolution, and so I was the big honcho with these, HD cameras. And I started doing travel videos in resorts.
Wow.
And did very well with that. And then as things moved forward, I saw, they started talking about Avatar and 3D. And I'd been doing 3D before already for just as a hobby. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. I can see how this is going to be amazing. And I wound up doing 24 half-hour TV shows in 3D that were seen that were sold to 65 countries around the world.
Can you talk to us about numbers on that? What's that kind of worth as a business?
It's a very good business, let's say. Basically, one of the earlier jobs that I did was I went down to Phuket and I shot underwater 3D.
Wow.
With a specialized housing that was created especially for the Panasonic 3D A1 camera, which I consulted with Panasonic on that camera. And Gates Housing, which is famous, world famous for their underwater housings, they created a custom 85-pound behemoth of an underwater housing for that camera. And we shot in the Andaman Sea, and it was just absolutely amazing. And that footage, one of the places, the key to this is not selling your footage exclusively, doing it non-exclusive so that you can sell it more than once. And I was very, very fortunate to have Samsung reached out to my distributor, and they saw the underwater footage from that, and they said, we want as much as you got. And I made a killing selling that to Samsung for their 3D library.
That's insane.
It was, and that helped me finance everything else that I wanted to do for a few years.
That's absolutely insane.
And then we came back from Phuket shooting that, and its funny thing is we didn't just shoot the underwater. We shot all over the island. We shot a bungee cord and zip line course up in the mountains, which was fantastic. And the
So
underwater was just part of it.
You had a distributor working your...
I had a distributor in Australia who was Austrian. Interesting, you have to be careful how you say that. Austrian in Australia. And he basically did a great job of getting sales for me. And
for someone who's in that industry, how would they go about getting distributors? Cause...
it's changed a lot. He's even moved into a different way of doing things now. It's very hard to get the sales as much as what it was like before.
Yeah.
And you just gotta, we're such an online-based situation right now, and I've kind of branched in now into VR, although I have done some 4K documentaries. I did a 4K documentary that my wife and I shot together on Angkor and sold to Discovery.
Let's move on to that. How does... You said you work with a company called 360 Day, but I think you mentioned you also partner, or I'm not entirely sure how that situation works.
Well, I'm working for them as their global director of marketing and production.
Okay.
But I'm also doing my own freelance stuff under alcaudullo.com.
Okay.
And so I work for whoever pays me and try and make some money as I go along. And VR, I love what I'm doing with it. And I'm here now in Bali. I came in originally to shoot some stuff for a VR application that 360 Day is doing called Roover, where like kangaroo, Roo, VR. Okay. Strange name, but it's a very cool app. And the Arma Museum and Ramyari,
mutual friend, yeah.
They're both going to be in it, and Stephen Bennett is going to be in it. Also legend. And so it's very, very cool. But then also I'm here shooting for Arma, shooting some stuff here at Arma, and I'm going to be looking into I'm going to be working with Ram and Toya, and we're going to organize to do some more resort videos here.
Amazing.
Do 360 and VR 180 and even drone stuff with 360.
Let's talk about applications of video and where you think the industry is going as a whole.
The industry is very much in flux, and I mean, certainly 4K and HDR. If you're going to shoot anything for TV, you better be shooting in HDR, in 4K HDR. They don't want just regular 4K anymore. So if you're not ahead of the game enough to do HDR, you're going to have a hard time selling anything. And HDR, high dynamic range. Okay. So there's multiple facets in the industry right now, and it's in a state of flux because VR, it's not easy to sell. It depends on if you're doing it for corporate. I've been very lucky that I've had some pretty large corporate clients that have using it to go ahead and do, let's just say, philanthropic endeavors.
Extend the namesake.
Yeah, can't name, but we can say that. And he used to own a really big software company.
I am.
We'll leave that alone. But it's great stuff. and it's fantastic. And some of the best stuff I've done, I can't even talk about on this podcast, but that's the fun of it in a way.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Always the case.
So there's a lot of different ways to go, and now we have AR coming along, which is another whole thing. And the combination of mixed reality with both AR and VR in applications, in some ways it's getting harder and harder, and in other ways the technology is more
very
accessible
specialized
than it's ever been before.
Is the skill set becoming to need more specialized, or is it becoming easier to access?
Both. Both.
That's interesting the way you put it.
Yes, because for the average consumer and for the vloggers out there and the YouTube creators, and I've done tutorials for YouTube creators for VR 180 to try and get them to go from regular 2D video into VR 180, which VR 180 was created by YouTube. Facebook had Oculus and had 360, and they're both playing nice together, which is really unusual. But also YouTube wanted something that was their own.
Yeah, their own baby.
And they looked at, they basically did a lot of investigating and research into eye tracking, using heat maps to see where people are looking. And they found that most people look pretty much where the camera's pointed. If it's dynamic landscapes, then yeah, they're going to look around a little bit, but still they come back to that center point. And so they said, hey, let's do VR 180, because in VR 180 you can look at it on your smartphone, you can look at it on your PC, and it's only going to be 2D. But slip on that magic VR headset, and all of a sudden you've got the premium experience. You've got 3D. You feel like you can reach out and touch it. It creates a sense of immersion that's beyond anything else that's available right now. So it really, really a very, very strong tool. I mean, you're seeing now Venice Film Festival, Cannes, all of the major film festivals all have VR as part of it. So we're in that transitionary period, and what's going to happen? It's anybody's guess sometimes. There's a lot of strange things that happen.
It's all very speculative right now.
It is. I mean, VR is called the empathy machine, because once you put on that headset, you're into this space that nobody else can be in. But yet you can have somebody sitting right next to you that's got another headset and they're watching the same thing at the same time. So there's both an individual experience and a group experience that can be had with VR.
If you're advising a young Al that's growing up in this time, what would you be telling him to do right now?
Become a lawyer and get a lot more money. No. I've always kind of followed more my passion, and I've been very lucky that my passion has been something that has somehow translated into making a living. And not everybody is that lucky. So I consider myself very blessed and very fortunate. And I try and give back as much as I can. I do a lot of workshops. I've done 20 workshops this year alone since April.
Same.
Starting out with doing the National Association of Broadcasters show. We did 5 workshops there teaching people how to do 360 and VR 180 using the Views XR camera. I was in CES Asia in Shanghai doing it there. I've done the VR AR Expo in Seoul, Korea. I've done the Everpa show in Tokyo. I've done Vietnam. I've done stuff for UNICEF. I've done so many. In fact, the most recent one I just came back from doing. They flew me all the way over from Bangkok to do 2 shows for Dell at the Dell I VR conference. Little play on words. They love to do that. And it's great. There I was in LA at Universal City doing 2 workshops.
How do you build your business these days?
How
do you build business?
That's, again, I've been very lucky, and I can't say that there's a formula for it. Because if I was to try and go by a formula, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I would stay with the safe. As a filmmaker, I know that I can do documentary work. I've been doing travel and documentary work most of my career. And it's what I love doing, and I'm good at telling stories. But here I am branched off into VR, and that's a little bit more of a challenge, definitely. and you're taking a bit more of a gamble. But I find that when you really follow your passion, the quality of the work speaks for itself, and that's what people recognize. One of the things that people say about me especially when I'm talking and doing speeches and doing seminars, is people can see my passion. They can feel it in how I'm talking about things, and that's what I love doing. I do so many emails and private messages, online with people asking me questions. I'm trying to do this. How do you do that? That was amazing that you did that. What did you do? And I'm always willing to share, because I think that's important. The only way that you're going to grow the industry as a whole is if you can help grow the people that are trying to do the amazing stuff. And always keep reaching. Try to do something different. Think outside the box. Live on that bleeding edge. Sometimes you get bloody, but sometimes you find gold in the middle of all that.
On that note, we've gotten more than enough for make this amazing interview. What kind of final words would you leave to people if they're starting this journey into film and TV and the whole creative space? What would you tell them?
Wow. Be committed. Because if you're not committed, again, that's all about the passion. It's all about finding your space of what you're good at doing, and driving for it, and keep going, and keep trying to improve yourself. Keep trying to reinvent yourself. You might start going in one direction, and all of a sudden an opportunity might present itself that takes you in a 360. That's a pun there.
I like that.
I
see what you did
find
there.
yourself in a whole different dimension.
Okay. For the creatives, what books would you recommend reading?
Oh, wow.
Books, resources, knowledge.
That's very funny. I've been in 2 3D books that were written, 3D stereoscopic books that were written by a good friend of mine, Bernard Mendibarou, who is a French 3D stereoscopic master. But you know what? I don't know that there's not that many books out there.
Okay.
Celine Trickhart did a very, very good book on 3D, not just on 3D, but on 360. And she is an award-winning, she's fantastic, one of the bright stars in the 360 universe. So reach out for her book. But other than that, there's not a lot of people. People have asked me why haven't I done a book, and because I never sit still that long.
It's time to get your thoughts recorded and make it happen.
Yeah.
Final question. What are you most excited about right now, and where can people connect with you?
This beer. I am super excited about this beer. It's really good.
It is a damn good beer, though.
I'm super excited about every project that I'm doing. And right now, I cannot believe the universe that I've been involved in this week with the Arma Museum and the resort and everything that I'm seeing here in Bali. I keep saying this, and maybe this is what's going to have to be like the overall theme for everything that I shoot here. There's a magic about Bali. It's the magic of Bali. And I've seen it in the places I've been, even in some of the restaurants that I've gone to. And I'll throw a shameless plug, Seasoned Restaurant in Ubud. The magic of the food there is just tremendous. And I think...
I've had this conversation like 3 times today. Bali seems to have a weird way of just creating things very fast.
There's this something in the air that's different than anywhere else. And I think that's, that excites me. That excites me. And being able to do something new, something different, reaching out for that next plateau, find another way to do things, that's what excites me.
And where can we be found? Where you can be found?
Where can I be? I'm all over the place. My God. Facebook, Al Caudullo, Caudullo. My website, alcaudullo.com, 360vrvoice.com, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you name it, I'm there.
And what are you looking for right now? If someone could reach out that it could help you in any way?
You never know where that's going to come from. And sometimes people who are just getting started, they're so fresh and they have such new ideas Sometimes they say things to you and you go, okay, that's not going to work. And then other times they say something to you and you go, wow, I never thought about doing it that way. And maybe what they're thinking will work, but maybe there's a way that you can create from that. So keep yourself open to everything that comes to you, because you never know when you're going to find something truly spectacular to build on.
All right, guys, you heard it here first. Go to alcaudullo.com and check him out. Until next time, we'll see you on the next episode.